Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 8 with the member Azharawan Groups, Lul Afatan and Chitarahman Iskina. So, today we're diving into something that every educator, every student, and honestly every person in this digital age needs to understand. What it is, the ICT in education. Now, ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. And before you think, okay, this is just about computers and the internet, hold on, it's actually so much bigger than that. So in this video, we're going to break down 5 major categories of ICT used in language learning, explore a super useful framework from evaluating technology in your classroom, and wrap up with 3 core principles that every teacher should keep in mind. So, whether you're a student studying education, a teacher looking to level up your practice, or just someone serious about how tech shapes learning, this one's for you. So, let's get into it. First question, why does ICT even matter in language education? ICT, or Information and Communication Technology, is the use of technologies such as computers, smartphones, and the internet to support teaching and learning. ICT helps make learning more interactive, effective, and accessible for both teachers and students. So let's start with what two of the most respected names in language teaching have to say. Jeremy Harmer, in his 2007 book, The Practice of English Language Teaching, makes something really clear. Which technology exists to facilitate richer interaction between teachers and students, not to replace the teacher. That's a key distinction. And then H. Douglas Brown, in Teaching by Principle, takes it one step further. He says technology must be used in a principled manner. This has meant every single time you bring technology into the classroom, it needs to have a clear pedagogical purpose, not just because it looks cool, not just because it's trendy, but because it serves learning. We have in old era, these traditional teaching tools such as blackboards, printed textbooks, and audio cassettes were commonly used. These tools supported learning but offered limited interaction and access to information. And then we have transitional era, where technology began to enter classrooms through overhead projectors, or OHP, language laboratories, and CD-ROMs. This period marked the shift from traditional to technology-assisted learning. And now, in the digital era, we have modern classrooms now use interactive whiteboards, or IWB, computers, the Internet, and Learning Management System, or LMS. These technologies enable interactive, flexible, and collaborative learning beyond the classroom. Now think about how far we've come. The tools have changed, but the goal remains the same. So let's move to the categories of ICT in education. First, we have presentation technologies here. Presentation technologies are tools that teachers use to display and deliver information to students during a lesson. According to Jeremy Harmer, 2007, these tools range from simple options like a chalkboard or flip chart to more advanced ones like a computer with projectors or an interactive whiteboard. So each tool serves the same basic purpose, like making content visible and accessible, but they differ in how interactive and flexible they are. Harmer reminds us that the choice of tool should always be guided by the learning objective, not by how advanced the technology appears. A simple flipchart used purposefully can be just as effective as a high-tech IWB used without clear intention. So let's start with the chalkboard and whiteboard. The ultimate that look classic yet incredibly versatile. It allows teachers to write, map out concepts, or sketch diagrams on the fly, making it perfect for spontaneous brainstorming session or real-time error correction. Yeah, that sounds classic, and honestly, still one of the most powerful tools in the classroom, isn't it? Why? Because it's real-time. A teacher can write, draw, erase, adjust, all in the moment. Perfect for spontaneous brainstorming that I said before. And then we have overhead projector, or OHP. Great for a more structured lesson delivery since teacher can prep their transparencies beforehand. It also works well for collaborative tasks where students can fill in or annotate the slides together. This one is great for structured delivery. Teacher prepare transparencies in advance, which means the lesson flows more smoothly, and it can actually be used collaboratively, like students can write on the transparencies themselves. And then we move to the flip chart. Portable, budget-friendly, and completely independent of electricity. This tool is particularly brilliant for group work, giving students an easy way to map out and pitch their discussion result to the class. This might seem basic, but don't underestimate it. Um, Teams can write their ideas, flip to the next page, and present their findings from here. And then we have moved into more tech-heavy territory, the computer and projector combo. This allows teachers to bring in PowerPoint slides, videos, graphics, even live websites, like all projected on a big screen. Suddenly, your lesson feels alive. This combination seamlessly brings the digital world into the classroom. So it's an easy way to bring authentic, real-world visuals to students. Sorry, and a smart powerhouse that merge a whiteboard, interactive whiteboard, smart powerhouse that merge a whiteboard, projector, and computer into one. Any content created on it can be saved, printed, or shared digitally. Harmer points out that IWBs are fantastic for boosting student engagement because learners can physically interact with the screen, and um, this combines the functions of a projector or a computer and a whiteboard into one. So this one is powerful. Yeah, because learners aren't just watching, but they're also doing. The second category, we have listening and audio technologies. Listening and audio technologies are tools that expose students to the real sounds of language, like something a print textbook alone cannot provide. According to Jeremy Harmer, 2007, these tools are essential in language learning because they give students access to a variety of accents, natural intonation patterns, and authentic communicative context. Teachers can use commercial recordings designed for language teaching, authentic recordings such as radio clips or real conversation, podcasts for independent listening practice, or computer-based audio programs that provide immediate feedback. And when combined with techniques like listen and repeat or listen and discuss, these tools move students from passive hearing into active, meaningful engagement with spoken language. So here are the examples from these categories. First, we have commercial recording. This includes CDs, MP3s, or audio tracks specifically produced for ELT. Because the language level is carefully controlled, they are tailored to match the learner's current proficiency. And the second, we have authentic recordings by teacher, like radio snippets, TV new clips, or everyday conversation created by the teacher. While more challenging, these provide raw, real-world input that prepares students for actual conversation outside the classroom. And then we have podcasts, the gold mine of free, diverse content accessibly anytime, anywhere. They are an excellent resource for extensive listening practice, encouraging students to learn independently outside school hours. And the last, we have computer-based audio, interactive listening software that provides instant feedback, or audio editors like Audacity that lets students record, playback, and self-analyze their own pronunciation and speech.
Okay, now visual and video technologies. So actually, visual and video technologies are important tools in language learning because they help students understand language more clearly and naturally. According to Jeremy Harmer, video provides something that audio alone cannot give, such as body language, facial expression, setting, movement, or cultural context. So when students only listen to audio, they may understand vocabulary and pronunciation by they may still misunderstand the meaning of communication. So video help learners understand not only what people say, but also how and why they said it. So this is a three example of visual and video and technology. For number one is commercial video and DVD. So commercial video includes like films, documentaries, interview, television series, podcasts with visual or educational content. So actually this material expose students to authentic language, meaning real language used in everyday situation. And for number two is streaming content. So streaming content is actually the platform that we commonly use, such as YouTube, Netflix, educational video website or short form video platform like TikTok to support our lesson. So maybe a teacher can select video according to certain levels, learning objective, or classroom topic. And for the last, there is self-made video. So self-made videos, it's mean that teacher or student can create their own video as a language project to fostering creativity alongside authentic language practice. So popular tools such as PPT or Canva, CapCut, or like AI assist video creator it can use to help produce creative video presentation or learning. In this section, Harmer also proposed a specific video-based technique. The number one is freeze frame. So freeze frame is mean that when the teacher posts a video and asks student to predict what happened next. So actually, these techniques encourage student to speaking, prediction, imagination, and enhance their critical thinking. And also this make the student become more active because they must explain opinion and then only listen. And then for another techniques is pictureless listening. So listening, it's mean that student only listen to audio without visual. For example, like the student hear conversation and then conversation in audio, and then they guess like where are they, who is speaking, etc. And then after discussion, student can watch the actual videos and compare the answer. So this technique it can improve student listening, comprehension, and imagination. And for the last is silent viewing. So like like the name silent viewing, it means students watch video without sounds, create their own dialogue. So in silent viewing, it can develop student vocabulary, creativity, inference skill, and speaking confidence. And also student can learn to interpret facial expression and body language that everybody always use in daily life. So now is computer assisted language learning or CALL. So computer assisted language learning is referred to the use of computer, software application, or digital tools to support language learning. So according to Douglas Brown, CALL helps students learn in interactive and adaptive way through technology assisted activity. So this is the 7 example for call. Number one is multimodal practice with feedback. So student can practice reading or writing, listening, and speaking with single platform. And then they receiving instant feedback that supports self-directed error correction. And the tools is like ChatGPT, Alta Speaking, or uh, another application that can help a student to receive the feedback directly. And then for number two, individualized learning. So actually, call program can adjust difficulty level based on student performance. It can use applications such as quizzes or another app that can measure student speed learning. And then there is collaborative project. So collaborative project, the student can work together using technology such as, for example, like Google Docs. In Google Docs, it can producing collaborative writing and then or single writing. And then there's another application such as Canva that can make student collaborate to make a presentation. And then for number four is engaging and enjoyable. So there are a lot of apps that can make students engage with the learning process, like gamification, simulation. Uh, Simulation is the best way. Like the apps is like Duolingo, quizzes, like Kahoot are the apps that teacher can use to make the class is more enjoyable, and then adapted to different learning style, because in call it can provide all the student different style of learning. For example, for visual learner, the teacher can use graphic or video for learning, and then for auditory, the teacher can use recordings like podcasts, and then for kinesthetic, uh, we can use simulations such as role play. And then for number six, exploratory learning. So actually, in using call, student can explore material independently, such as following links or seeking additional information, or using AI to help them to practice their public speaking, for example, without the fear of judgment of people. And then real life computer skill. So because in call itself indirectly develop the digital literacy that students need in modern work. So it will help them in the future. Then there is internet and online learning. So basically, according to Jeremy Harmer, the internet is one of the greatest revolution in access to information and authentic communication in language learning. Today, internet has transformed classroom by allowing students to access information, collaborate, and communicate globally. So this is the example from this internet and online learning. For number one, it's word processing and collaborative writing. Because in internet, there are tools such as Google Doc to enable real-time co-authoring, peer review, and revision tracking. It can use for all essential academic writing skill. And then there is email and Mospal. So Mospal is basically an online pin polls. So in this online learning, students can communicate with people from other countries, such as like we can use Omegle, Instagram, or even Zoom to connect with student in other country. For example, in addition, student exchange message with student in another country to discuss school life and culture. And this actually can create authentic communication because language is used for real purpose. And then blogs. Blog it can use for student to reflective journal, and the blog itself it can like Blogger, WordPress, or Quora, or another platform that student can use. So the student can receive comment from their classmate or from the another readers, and actually the tools can provide meaningful and immediate feedback. And then there is authoring tool and web quest. So the teacher may design a research-based test called web quest. So the students do not merely just browse the information, but the internet, but they analysis and present. So there is virtual learning environment. So virtual learning environment is like a platform such as Team, Google Classroom, or another platform that can provide a complete digital classroom such as course material, discussion forum, quizzes, assignment submission, and student progress tracking in all in one. So this platform is like the digital version of classroom in real life. So it can help students study anywhere and review lesson anytime.
So the next slide is there is critical consideration, the TEA test. So before using technology in education, teachers should consider the TEA test. T stands for training. So meaning users should know how to use the technology. So E standard for equipment, which refers to the availability of functioning hardware and software. So A stands for access, ensuring that all students can use the technology equally. So technology is effective only when these three factors are available. So the next slide is about summary of ICT categories. So ICT can be categorized into several types. For the first one, there is presentation tools like PowerPoint and interactive whiteboards. It helps display information more about the material. So the next one, there is audio tools such as podcasts for improving listening skills. So next one, there is video researches provide for contextual learning. So language learning software offer practice and feedback, while online platforms support communication and independent learning. So the next part is conclusion. So guys, to conclude this material, ICT in education is not simply about using advanced technology, but it's also about choosing the right technology for the right purpose. So teachers remain decision makers. Technology should support student learning, and its use should always be meaningful and sustainable.